This video provides an educational analysis of the mechanisms behind systematic identity erasure. It covers sensitive topics, and viewers are encouraged to approach the material with a critical and open mind. We are exploring the mechanics of systematic identity erasure, examining how historical and bureaucratic processes have functioned to redefine populations. This slide highlights historical definitions and racialized descriptions that were used to categorize different populations, illustrating the biases embedded in the historical record. This case study examines 4 distinct eras of identity erasure: 17th century myth-making, 19th century judicial normalization, early 20th century bureaucratic reclassification, and federal mathematical stratification. Early narratives were often constructed by external observers who never visited the regions they documented, leading to the creation of geopolitical fictions and visual fabrications that shaped Western perceptions for centuries. Historical engravings like this one, while now in the public domain, served as visual tools to reinforce manufactured narratives about indigenous populations for European audiences. Early European documentation often recorded the diverse, melanated complexions of indigenous peoples. However, these natural descriptions would later be challenged by shifting definitions and political agendas. Lexicography played a role in this transformation. Dictionaries evolved over the 19th century, gradually shifting the definition of American away from original indigenous inhabitants toward a settler colonial identity. In the absence of documentation, 19th century courtrooms became sites for physical inspection. Cases like Hudgens versus Wrights demonstrate how judicial systems used pseudoscience and appearance to enforce racial boundaries. Visual tests expanded across multiple states, where juries and so-called medical experts used arbitrary markers, such as hair texture or iris patterns, to legally determine a person's race and freedom. Bureaucratic reclassification, sometimes called, quote, paper genocide, sought to eliminate legal recognition of indigenous identities. Virginia's 1924 Racial Integrity Act, led by Walter Plecker, is a key example of this system. This process involved the systematic removal of Indian labels from vital records. Notably, loopholes like the Pocahontas exception protected specific elite families while marginalizing others. At the federal level, the Bureau of Indian Affairs utilized blood quantum laws to restrict tribal recognition. The Dawes Act and subsequent roles relied on visual categorization to determine who qualified for land and status. The Indian Reorganization Act further codified these requirements. By tracking blood fractions by specific tribe, this system ensured a mathematical dilution of recognized indigenous populations over generations. This table summarizes the comparative framework of state-level and federal-level erasure, highlighting how both bureaucratic mechanisms serve to systematically redefine and diminish indigenous identities. In conclusion, historical definitions of race were manufactured systems used for administrative control. Today, many tribal nations are exercising their sovereignty to dismantle these structures, moving away from blood quantum requirements toward lineal descent to restore traditional community and heritage. Thank you for engaging with this educational overview. Please note this disclaimer regarding the content and the sources utilized for these slides.